We have finally reached the Temple of the Sisters of Fate. Which means you have a
go
lot more
Pandora's
things to
Temple.
kill. No, thankfully. It actually has color in it.
Oh my goodness, I love color.
The color red's my favorite. It's ketchup.
Although things are
The
starting to
colors
look,
are so bright.
things are starting to look an awfully a lot like Teminagru right now, though. Generic
what do you
stone
say?
temple location. And that is one thing that I
Basically,
will.
this area is broken up into 3 parts, I believe. There's an area on the right, there's an area on the left,
Then there's the center part.
and there's a center part. What you're doing here, I think we're trying to wake up the Phoenix.
That is,
Yes.
That is one thing that I definitely will not compare Devil May Cry favorably to God of War in is just environmental locations. Because DMC1 had, the creepy castle that was nicely rendered and all, but
That also had a pirate ship.
yeah, well, Devil May Cry 3, on the other hand, for all of its mechanical improvements, Teminagru was a really boring setting for the game, and that was unfortunately a time constraint thing, because you were supposed to spend like the first half of the game in the city, and then the second half in the tower, but they wound up just making the tower and a small portion of the city, and then having you go through the tower twice.
Nah.
That sucks.
Like the only really nice looking area in the game, apart from that first city section, I would say is like at the very end when you're in the demon world and things get really surreal looking.
Well, from what you've told me, at the very least, it seems like it has more variety than 4, which is the same game twice or something like that.
It is literally the same game twice.
It depends on how you define more variety. Like the environmental areas in Devil May Cry 3 are kind of bland and monotonous in general. Whereas, even though you go through the same game twice in 4, the areas you pass through are more environmentally varied from each other than they ever were in 3. So, you win some, you lose some.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still, for me, worse than 4 because of that, in a sense.
Yeah, because you're going through the same levels twice, whereas when you go through the tower the second time in 3, it's changed because the tower has been activated, and this
It's also a matter of visually it looks more samey, so it's easier to mask.
Yeah.
Compared to, we're going back exactly the way we came in 4, so we are literally in the same snow area that looks exactly the same as the snow area we're just in.
Yeah, so that's a problem. But at the same time, 4 has more interesting environments. You go through the port town, then you go through this really cool looking castle that's different from the castle in 1 stylistically. Then there's a jungle area, and then there's the Order of the Swords Palace, and whatever the transitional areas between them are. So, in that sense, it's more environmentally varied, but only because it feels like you're going through a series of locations rather than spending the whole game in one location.
Rah! Block pushing. Also, this lady doing a weird dance.
This is a guy. This is a guy.
Oh. That poor guy.
What?
He's dead, isn't he?
Well, yeah, because he's with Kratos.
Why couldn't you carry him through?
Because game. I had a good idea, but the game doesn't think you can do that. So now I have to get the guy back on the Switch, get the box, put the box on the Switch, pick up the guy.
Oh, and the camera's not helping you very much here at all. Because you got the thing in the way.
Is this guy blind?
No, he's a translator.
Yeah.
Oh.
He has to read the book for us so we can progress.
It did look like you should have been able to do that, though.
You
So
must
why
check the translation.
was he in there?
The sisters put him there.
You know, wouldn't it have been better to just keep the door closed, then?
Well, they didn't disappear until I took them out.
Well, no, just go back and close the door again. Leave him in there.
I guess.
Careful about fighting so close to him. Kratos has been known to accidentally kill civilians.
Nope, he can't actually
Yes,
in this game.
accidentally.
Well, you remember the opening section of God of War 1 on the ship, where
but you can't do that here. You can't actually kill him yourself.
Ah.
Well, you will kill him yourself, but later when you actually don't need him anymore.
It's just, I would have expected that it was a danger, because, when the civilians are running around on the ship, you can just grab them and murder stab them with your, finisher move. It's just because they
I didn't know there was another way to stab other than murder stab.
Demon, but it got got really crazy and stupid when that happened.
Yeah, but they weren't important enough to actually keep alive, so this guy's important and we need him, so we can't kill him, no matter how hard we want to, until we're done with him anyway.
Kratos, I'm guessing Kratos does actually kill this guy, right?
Of course.
Why? Like, I mean...
Because whenever there's a human involved in a puzzle that Kratos needs to solve, they die.
Like, I mean, I get it, but, and I know that, like, the reason that the fact that he does all this stuff is part of the reason why people don't like him. But, I mean, like, how far is too far, I guess, is the question I'm going to be asking. Like, how much of an asshole does a character need to be for you to just start not wanting to control that character anymore?
Well, you know, it's a your mileage may vary question. Some people think Dante is always that crossed that line.
Well, I'm just asking you guys specifically. Like, how bad does a character have to get for it to actually like be a problem for you? Because, like, I don't know if I could... Okay, it has to be...
Kratos.
Yeah, because I don't know if I could play this.
Personally.
I don't know if I could play this with Kratos being that much of a douchebag, you know?
I've never really liked Kratos, and that's part of the reason that I've taken so long to get back to playing this series. Because, you know, there is the argument that, oh, if you don't like gore, you shouldn't be playing this game. But it's more like I don't like the context of a lot of what happens in these games. So I wind up not really wanting to play as the character. And it's not like I actively dislike God of War, because I love the gameplay. The gameplay is freaking amazing. It's just that I have an easier time getting into it when it's a character that I can like playing as, like Gabriel Belmont, than I do when it's Kratos himself.
Yeah, as much as, like, I know that there's like a big gameplay is the most important thing kind of thing about video games, and to be fair, gameplay is very, very important, but it's not... I don't think it's an invalid reason to dislike God of War because you don't like the story or how much Kratos is an asshole. Like, if that gets on your nerves, then that's a legitimate reason to not want to play the game.
Another searches for what only the sisters may give. Read it.
Okay, yeah, this is not...
Once upon a time, in a land far, far away,
Why didn't we...
little girl named Goldilocks.
Why didn't we just ask him nicely? We freed him from his prison. Shouldn't that be enough to get him to cooperate?
No, because he knows what the words are, so he knows that basically we have to kill him in order to we have to basically sacrifice it and give him the sister's blood in order to open the door.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I can tell what you guys were talking about with the pre-rendered things, because everything got really blurry really quickly.
Yeah, whenever there's a big, epic cutscene in a late PS2 game, this tends to happen. Because those are the cutscenes that test that screw with the system limitations the most.
Yeah, do you think that it's possible to tell the difference on, like, resolution-wise on an old CRT? When you're running
it really depended, because in the late PS2 era, television resolutions and clarity and sharpness were rather big variants. We were starting to get widescreen televisions and, you know, mid-range resolution, 480 and stuff.
And much more digital focus setups.
There was also a variance in actual game resolution at some points, because some of the games on the PS2, in order to make up some of that system limitation, would actually lower their in-game resolution in order to allow themselves to do more. One of the most obvious examples is Final Fantasy XII, which, when it received an HD remaster this year, you know, one of the things that I noticed most of all was the fact that you could actually see a lot of stuff more clearly that you couldn't have seen on the original PS2 version because the resolution was so low. Just general environmental detail seems a lot better.
Their games still do that to this day, I believe. Splatoon 2, in order to keep 60 frames per second, will actually change the resolution slightly during gameplay. in order.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's a common technique nowadays. Doom 2016 does it as well.
Yeah.
In order to maintain 60 frames per second.
This
it
is
will
also
dy-
primarily a trick used for online-focused
Yeah,
scenarios.
yeah. It will change the resolution dynamically as you play, depending on how busy things are getting.
Yeah,
Which you won't notice because you're currently in the middle of gameplay.
yeah, I can't, even when looking back at footage, I can't really notice it as much, though. I'm not as good at that kind of thing, personally.
Yeah. Well, it's
You have to really know what you're looking for.
It's usually making slight adjustments more than anything, and it would probably be most prominently noticeable on in a 4K game.
Yeah. Because if you go down
But,
from 4K, I noticed that I've looked it up somewhat. They don't tend to go straight from like 1080 to 720. They'll go from like 1080 to 900 or whatever the in-betweens are for that. So that, it's not as noticeable as like jumping down 4 screen sizes or something.
Yeah, because people's eyes do notice that to a distracting degree if it's too big of a difference. Resolution and frame
Going from
rate both
4K
have
to
those problems.
144p Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Oh, like when...
In a shooter, though, frame rate is more important to maintain because it directly affects your precision aiming.
Yeah. It's like shooters and fighting games tend to be the ones that benefit the most from 60 FPS. I don't notice.
Yeah.
Like, if you're playing a turn-based RPG, that 60 FPS is nice, but it's not adding anything to the gameplay, really. Your menu input, you're going to drop a menu input. Oh no, you'll have to press up again. Oh.
I got the active time battle system on. I could have saved myself with a clutch potion. If only I was playing 60 FPS.
John, they haven't made an active time Final Fantasy since, like, in the old style, since, like, what? Was 9 the last one?
No,
Because
10 sort of.
no, 10 was turn-based.
10 was turn-based.
Yeah, 10-2.
10-2 was active time battle.
Yeah, 10-2. So it's been a long time since they've made an active time system like 4 or 6, like 4 to 9 actually.
12 was similar but different in the sense that it was more like a Western style RPG than
Yeah.
a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, I know that 12 like definitely did like have things happening around you in real time. I just don't. It's a little bit too different for me to consider it.
There was an active mode for the game. I just don't recommend using it because playing that style of RPG without a tactical pause at all is not fun. Especially since the interface in Final Fantasy XII is not really built for it. Like, the more skills your characters have, the more
Menus.
you have to scroll through to get to every action. So you really do just want to rely on your gambits for all of the variables that might happen during real time, and then use the menu for when you need to pop off a manual command.
Nope, nothing in the foreground.
Just knocks on the fourth wall.
You see, the gods are just looking down at Kratos at the moment. What is that moron doing? He's like running towards walls.
I don't know, but he's not here, and that's what's important.
Is that Athena or the Fates?
That's Athena.
That's Athena.
There are statues of all the gods here for some reason.
So
The main.
so is she just
gods
telling
anyway.
us to go home?
Yeah. Yeah, she won't stop mouthing off at us. So we're going to destroy your statue.
Of course.
She's fake news, Kratos.
Yeah, and the gods are?
Half-truths and falsehoods, you say. How about that whole promise you guys made me in the last game? The reason I was fighting for you. You're telling me that wasn't a half-truth?
Is that Ares next to Athena?
Yeah.
Okay.
And as far as half-truths goes, no, we technically gave you what we promised. We just promised you something stupid and you fell for it.
That's basically the definition of a half-truth.
Can you
No,
beat up...
Athena's the only one you can destroy.
Ah, lame.
Yeah, half-truths are an effective means of lying because you tell just enough of the truth to get out of being caught in your lie.
Yeah, you're not... You're only lying by omission, really. It's just like, no, I never said that I was going to bring back your family. I just said I was going to give you what you really wanted. And you wanted to be a god, right? Well, I mean, yeah, but I would have rather had my... Too bad.
Oh boy.
Hello, Wall. You're my only friend.
How dare you betray me, Wall Punch?
Game designers started to realize into the PS3 360 era that no one really liked to slowly shimmy along walls, so they made it so that characters could illogically run across those edges while still hugging the wall.
And the
Mario
Mario's
in
been doing that since 64.
Yeah, which is physically fucking impossible, but...
Then again...
So, when does Mario ever make physical sense?
Yeah, but we're not. I'm not talking about Mario. I'm talking about stuff like Prince of Persia and God of War.
Well, Prince of Persia's thing was supposed to be like real world platforming. Like if you actually had to do this, so it makes more sense in that game as opposed to God of War.
It doesn't. It makes more sense to have a faster shimmying in something like God of War, yes. But we were talking about this in an earlier part where, you know, stuff like balancing across beams slowly became something that was less of a gameplay mechanic and more just an automatic run across the beam to make you feel like you were agile.
So, you know, if these sirens didn't come attack us, we'd probably be stuck in here, right?
Oh boy, this part is going to be marked as ad unfriendly for sure.
Ryan, we're going to need you to edit out all of the boobs. Frame by frame.
There's been a lot of unibreast in this video.
Hey, if it makes you guys feel any better, none of the God of War parts in SGB have been marked yet.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, yeah, because, you know, we're just... The advertisers just like you better, John. Like everyone else.
That's what happens when you bake them cupcakes.
Like, every single God of War part that's been uploaded as of this recording has been at some point marked as ad unfriendly. Like, the first half of it was marked right away, and I had to put in, like, review requests to get it marked as, you know, ad friendly. But then as soon as those review requests went through and those parts were cleared, the other parts got marked. It's like,
Christ.
God damn, this system pisses me off so much.
I'll show you ad unfriendly. Kick your ass.
Lewis, don't worry. By the time this
We
part...
have declared that kick ass is if you were unfriendly. So
Don't worry, Lewis. By the time this part goes up, that problem will be gone and a new one will have taken its place. So...
Such is the life of a YouTuber.
Yeah.
First world problems.
Remember when people were complaining that you couldn't turn widescreen off? Man, good times. I can't believe that people actually complained about that in hindsight. Because, you know...
Why would they complain about you not being able to turn widescreen off?
Because, you have black...
crop the video yourself.
Because you have black bars on the sides of your video.
The black bars don't... The black bars don't matter. You're going to have something on the outside of that video no matter what.
Yeah. Now I have to learn to process in 16:9. It takes work.
Also, it wasn't true to begin with because you could just upload a 4:3 video.
Yeah.
And it would just register as a cropped video.
It's still, you know, if you go back to really old YouTube videos where they have the where they uploaded them in 16:9, but since they were 4:3 aspect ratio when they were uploaded, they've got the letterboxing on the sides and the letterboxing up in front. It's the best, isn't it?
I don't understand why people were
it is a
were
fucking
annoyed.
crime against humanity.
I really don't understand why people were so against letterboxes.
I learned to ignore them pretty quickly.
I don't mind letterboxing in a widescreen video, not 4:3.
Like,
why?
Because it's like, why?
They screen. I get what John's going on about. If the screen's already that small, cutting something off is pretty aggravating from time to time. Like
But you're not cutting anything off. You're just
like a movie trailer in the cinematic aspect ratio on a 4:3 video bothers me more than watching a 4:3 video with the black bars on the sides. You know?
You know what bothers me more than letterboxing? Stretching. It's ugly. It makes everyone look like they're fat.
You know, for the longest time I did stretching. I watched almost everything stretched on our it was the first HD TV we got, actually, I remember. And we watched everything stretched because we couldn't figure out how to actually make all the TV channels show up in 16 by 9.
Right.
And so we watched everything, like, everybody's face was super wide. And it was
Yeah, every television seems to default to stretching rather than cropping for some reason, but there's usually a cropping mode.
Yeah.
You see, look, I understand the point of letterboxing for 4:3 because you don't want to get rid of the picture.
You don't want to
people-
distort the image. It
You
makes
you don't want to distort the image. People also don't like pan scan. That's when you take the picture and you blow it up to 4:3. But that also means you're removing the sides of the movie, so it's not widescreen format anymore. The way it was originally shot in. It's just that a 4:3 video on a widescreen TV that already letterboxed, that is so much negative space around that picture that it bothers the hell out of me.
Wait, are you talking about 4:3 videos that are letterboxed and then letterboxed by the display a second time?
Yeah, that's...
Like,
that's
a lot of
Yeah.
DVDs do that. My House MD DVDs do that. It's fucking annoying.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about in the first
No,
place.
no, we were talking about YouTube. I don't
Yeah,
know
no,
any YouTube video that would do that.
No, old YouTube videos from before they were before the thing was before they had the widescreen mode. Sometimes people would upload like trailers or something like that, and they would be in
because
16
they
by
would
9
crop the
cropped.
widescreen and then the
And
widescreen
then
would
when
get
you
cropped.
watch them, when the widescreen update happened, it's cropped in the letterbox, so it's like it's got a black
and then
border.
it was
all
cropped again.
Yeah.
Okay. That I can see people being annoyed by, but that's just an unfortunate change to the system.
It's just funny going
You
back to
know.
videos from 2006
But you
and
know,
seeing that kind
the
of
thing
thing.
about that is that YouTube actually has these URL tags that you could stick on videos around that time to tell the site how to crop or stretch things.
That sounds like it takes work.
Yeah, it did take work, but you know, it got around the problem.
I don't like work.
Why are we doing these goddamn puzzles over and over again?
Because he's been completing it, I think. I don't know. I don't know.
This has been such a tedious puzzle.
It is. It's trial and error.
Don't we have something that can breathe fire already in our... Can't we just break the
No.
ice?
Nope.
I'm pretty sure Kratos should be able to break that ice. Like,
Too bad
he's
he can't.
plenty strong.
Too bad he can't.
You struggled against the thumbs of Atlas.
But ice is cool, John.
I realize that they're just trying to make a puzzle that you had to solve, but this is not fun.
Puzzle solving in these kinds of games is never the fun part of these kinds of games. Like, understand the desire to put them in here because
there's also the problem that it's not really a puzzle. It's just you got to find the right ice thing to break, and then once you've burned that up, you can
Burn the other ones to get all the
other
goodies.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, but I understand why they want to put a puzzle in a God of War game to change the pace slightly, but at the same time, you
but
don't play God of
the
War
problem
to solve
is,
puzzles.
The problem is there's no way to really solve it. You don't have a means of finding out which ice sheet needs to be melted in order to melt all the others quickly. So it's just
guessing
it's a guessing game. So
The music thinks
I
it's way
choose
more.
door number 3.
The music
it's
thinks
a waste.
I love how
It's a waste of time. Damn it.
the music thinks it's way more epic than it actually is too, which is I just find humorous.
Fast-paced action music over slow-paced burning. This is like, you know, this feels like what would happen to me if I was still working at Walmart. One of the things I would do on the occasions that I was working in the back room and didn't necessarily need to have my ears free is that I would just listen to epic music while I was packing boxes. So,
Lewis is packing boxes. Lewis is packing boxes.
Yeah, it's just like, what are you listening to while you're packing boxes? One-winged angel. Putting stuff in box goes on to the shelf. Packing box!
man, I just know I'm not going to be allowed to do that when I start my warehouse job, too, because you're not allowed to bring in any device that has a camera in it, including phones.
MP3 player.
Yeah, bring an old MP3 player.
I don't have a good one.
Get one.
In any case, I think the pace of work there is going to be is going to be way too fast for me to do that. So, Trying to deal with shipping orders in a warehouse is probably going to be a hell of a lot more hectic than just moving boxes around at the back room of a Walmart.
Then you'll never complain about a late order ever again.
Oh no, you can complain. You can complain about the people driving the trucks. You don't complain about.
Well,
the
I've
people.
only had one. I've only had one late order from Amazon ever, and it was a case of the package just getting lost in the mail. And it was the only time, the only birthday present that someone ordered for me this year, which was a wallet. So it figures it would be the only shipping.
Are
order
you
that
secretly
I have.
saying you feel owed a birthday gift?
Huh?
Are you secretly saying that you feel owed a birthday gift?
No. It was Jingles who sent it to me, and she wound up ordering a second one, which arrived perfectly on time.
That was nice.
It was just a wallet. It was
I'm glad you
No,
feel
no,
that way
no.
about her gift.
no. I mean, it was just a wallet, so there was no reason for it to show up late. Is all I was saying.
I
Like
didn't
if it
get my
was-
brownies in the mail.
If it was some kind of specialty product, I could understand it coming from a specific warehouse that maybe makes shipping more difficult.
Right.
But there was no reason for it to be delayed, so I was kind of upset with Amazon at this point. But it was this cool Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess wallet with a chain on it. So I really appreciated the gift because I said I wanted a wallet like that while I was at Too Many Games, and she remembered, you know. That's kind of the thought that counts.
I wonder
except
if she
it
ever
was
got
also
my
something that I liked.
I wonder if she ever got my Legend of Zelda wallet that I sent her.